that can lead to a bad tone when you're playing, like buzzy notes if you don't squeeze enough. There's also more space between the frets, and so you might find yourself not getting as close to the fret as you need to get a clean sound. So, hello, this is John with My First Ukulele, and today we're talking baritone again. We are going to be looking at common baritone mistakes and how to fix them. So, before I get too far, I want to direct your attention to the My First Ukulele Facebook group. If you're looking for a fun community to share your ukulele journey with, then you should definitely check out the My First Ukulele Facebook group. There you can ask questions, you can share your progress, and you can meet fellow ukulele lovers from all around the world. The link will be in the description below, and feel free to check that out. Now let's go on ahead and get to today's baritone content. So the last couple videos that I've had have been on this instrument here. This is a baritone ukulele, and the main difference is that it's longer, and instead of being tuned to GCEA, it's tuned to DGBE, which are also the same four strings of the highest four strings of a guitar. So DGBE, and this is linear tuning, which means that the one right underneath your nose is going to be the lowest string out of all of those. So, the most common thing, and this happens to me more often than you would think, is when you go to read a song. Let's say your first chord is C. Sometimes my brain immediately goes to the GCEA C that we have, which is right here. But actually, the baritone C is like an F shape of a GCEA, right? And so sometimes I'll be playing a song, and then I won't be thinking, and then my fingers will automatically go to that chord. And that might happen to you also. That's just muscle memory when you see something and then you kind of react to where that's going to be. That's part of it. Though sometimes I do actually like to read GCEA chords on here. I just flip the switch in my brain and I go on ahead and go to that ukulele mode, because sometimes it might be a key that I don't like, and I can kind of flip that on real quick and be like, hey, C, F, G7, C, even though they're not, even though it was G, C, and D7 instead. So it's possible if you've been playing normal ukulele long enough, you can kind of do that. And so it's kind of a nice thing if it's a key that you're not super comfortable with. So, well, that was using wrong chords whenever you're playing the baritone. Another thing you might want to avoid when you're playing the baritone is just avoiding flats in general. Like songs that have B flat in them, they typically are not easy to play. Like on this instrument, it's not very simple to kind of get around it and do that. Now, it is a little larger, so if you do use some bar chords, you can kind of get away with doing that. But yeah, B flats, E flats, they're not the most fun thing to play on a baritone, so try to go with anything in the key of C or up to like 2 or 3 sharps. That's generally going to be a good thing to try and do. So you might want to move the key of some of your songs to that. So the other thing that you might mix up or get confused with is incorrect tuning. So you might immediately go to G, C, E, A, or go to a G at first, and you might not be able to find it. So you just want to make sure that you get to D, G, B, E. And if you have a guitar around, you can kind of get it close to there first, and then you can grab your tuner. And yeah, so that's the second thing that can happen. Also, the baritone does require a little bit more strength. It can, like this one has thicker strings than my other baritone. I have another baritone and they feel almost twice as thin. So when I get to this one, it definitely takes a lot more squeeze to get it to come out. Even though the strings are nice and low to the instrument, I definitely noticed that going to a GCEA instrument. So that might happen to you. That can lead to a bad tone when you're playing, like buzzy notes if you don't squeeze enough. There's also more space between the frets, and so you might find yourself not getting as close to the fret as you need to get a clean sound. So that's one thing that might happen. This baritone also has a 38 millimeter nut width at the top, which is a little bit wider than a normal ukulele. And some people like a little bit smaller, and some people like a little bit bigger. So that can cause a little uncomfortability at first, just getting to those places, just getting used to that. So and then lastly, you might be pulling up a tutorial and they're in GCEA tuning and you're on baritone and you're looking at their hand shapes and you're trying to match what they're doing on there, but you have to translate it into baritone. And if you don't do that, then it's not going to sound right. So I guess the best thing I can offer for you whenever you pull up a normal ukulele tutorial and all you have is your baritone in front of you, just put a capo at fret 5 and from there you can play what they're playing. It'll be up here, but it'll be like having a normal ukulele. So um, I definitely have done that at gigs. I don't want to sometimes always switch out my ukulele because it takes time. Put a capo here, and then I can play a song that is a little bit more comfortable for me with GCEA tuning up here instead. So those are just a couple of common baritone ukulele mistakes, and I'm definitely guilty of them here and there. But it's a great instrument. It's really fun, especially if you need a little bit warmer sound, or if you're amongst other ukulele players and you need to diversify your sound a little bit. I've been in rooms of like 20 to 30 ukuleles, and they're all the same tuning, and it's okay, but it kind of needs that diversity a little bit. I've seen these old time bands, and they'll have a ukulele player, they'll have a guitarist, they'll have banjo, they'll have all these different instruments, and all these different characteristics of instruments can really help diversify the sound and make it a little bit more interesting to listen to. So that's why I love the baritone. The baritone's been really, really fun. But if you like the My First Ukulele channel, hit like and subscribe down below where you can catch many more videos from My First Ukulele. There's also the website, and there's some great reviews on ukuleles on there and different articles. And there's also some courses you can check out. I've been John with My First Ukulele, and until next time, happy strumming. Bye-bye.